What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going over one of my fan favorite decks. I love this deck so much. It's branded. So this is going to be a 42 card build, a little bit different. I kind of want to bump this up to 44 or 45, but I can't really fit in a branded and white right now. So I'm just testing it out currently. This is going to be one of the decks I most likely take to regionals next week. So kind of important to note. It's going to be in 14 days. So I guess in 2 weeks now, being this coming up on a Saturday. But yeah, definitely a deck I've been playing, testing a lot. I kind of wanted to get the ins and out of it once again. I've been playing it for a long time now. But yeah, before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see a combo video, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll do that for you guys. I just want to know what you guys want to be seeing. You know, if you want to be seeing like combo tutorials, if you want to be test hands, we're going to definitely do some live games on the channel. But yeah, diving on in, we are playing the Triple Albaz. This is a very standard part of Rarity Collection 1 upgrade, which is something else I want to talk about. You know, upgrading these cards with the Aluber, show to Aluber. Being in that beautiful QCR rarity. But 3 Albaz is really good this format because of the fact that it's kind of standard, I guess, now. You can play 2 of it, but like the grind game is important now, especially against Tempai, stuff like that. Summoning this out and being able to use it. We are playing another card in the extra deck I'll talk about later, but like it comes up significantly so much, being able to banish it. Like you do get the grind games more often than not, and even having like the Albaz as a normal summon going second never really hurts. So it's overall a great card. And then we're talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Aluber, in that gorgeous QCR rarity from Rarity Collection 2. Searches for your cards, come on. Like, search for Brand Fusion, we gotta love this. Then we are playing the double copies of Cartesia. This card plus Brand Fusion is essentially just an OTK. You get really any kind of line that you want to. It's like, essentially just gonna be winning. You can get Puppet Lock. This card by itself, which is absolutely incredible. I have thought about bumping this up to 3, but for now I'm just playing 2 of it. If you're playing 60 cards, I definitely think you can bump this up to 3 as well. You know, splash someone out in the graveyard with Albaz, or the Albion in the graveyard by counting itself as Albaz. Lots of different lines you can do, and this card makes the deck a little bit more complicated. Following up with that, we have the double Quem. I know, one's not a Q or Starlight. It is coming in the mail. Unfortunately, just didn't get here fast enough on time. So this card is going to be like your kind of like how to beat Nib. A lot of times people are going to be siding out Nib because Nib's not very impactful against this deck, but being able to summon this off of the Grand Granol, especially in the grind game, once again, like I mentioned the grind game a lot in these videos, the grind game is a little bit more real now. Like, yes, Tempai is in the format, and they're going to be able to blow you out significantly a lot of the times, but if you don't always Puppet Lock, which Puppet Lock is not always the right correction to lean to, Quem is just an absolute crazy piece of interaction that can be able to summon back your stuff out, and having 2 summons does not hurt as well. So like, this is going to be the #1 card they want to take off the field. Now for the follow-up branded card, we're playing the double Albion. If you guys have watched the branded series for a long time now, I have never really been a fan of the triple Albion. I'm notorious for drawing Albion into Albion, but when I'm on 2 Albion, I find that I draw into like one of the best cards in my deck, which is absolutely crazy. Or I can dump an Albaz, draw into the branded in red, and at that point you feel just absolutely amazing. I am on the Springens kit. Now, I'm the biggest hater of this card. This is my Drake, and I'm Kendrick Lamar. I hate this card. But unfortunately, you kind of need to play it right now in this format because you want to be able to search your cards as much as possible. It is a consistency piece that unfortunately is needed. But the moment it's not needed, I will cut this card right away. I'm not ever going to lie to you guys. This card's absolute horrible, but it does help you in this format. It says definitely a lot because you need consistency. Like, you look at all the other decks like Melodious, Snake Eye, Tempai, all those decks have insane consistency, and you just need to play it, unfortunately, in this deck to have that same consistency as them. Following that up, we play the 1 Tragedy, the 1 Lubellion, the 1 Sornier, and then the 1 Mercurier. I guess we can throw in the branded and Puppet Nightmare. Not much really has changed with all this. We all know this is like the 1-1 ratio. You can bump this up to 2 if you want to play like a copy of the whatever it is, the Allure of Darkness, but we're not really playing it, and we are playing just the 2 targets there, so it's not going to be that useful. Other than that, giving Puppet in the main is definitely, I think, needed this format. There's no point of siding it because half the times you're going to want it in your game anyways. You do go first half the time when you win, and being able to set this up, and even if you draw it into your hand, there's so many ways of discarding it. It never really hurts. So you can't really complain. It's also good going second as well. Now, it's on a hand trap, but you don't play any hand traps. So if you have an all gas hand, the only time getting Puppet is really bad is when you draw it into your going second hands. Now for the spells, we play the triple Brain Infusion, obviously. This isn't Master Duel, so we can play 3 of it. Disgusting card, being able to just win the game, essentially. Triple opening. Konami, please make this like a Starlight or a QCR and like the Megatons or like Battles of Legend. This would be absolutely amazing. But for now, we're playing the Supers to match the rest of the deck. Then we are playing the triple branded opening and the double branded red alongside the 1 copy of High Spirits alongside the branded Lost. So this is our branded package. There's really nothing to say. Like, this is insane. Search us you for your Quem or the Aluber. Sometimes you want to add to hand as well. It comes up with a niche situation. Don't forget this in Graveyard. I'm notorious for that as well. Branded in High Spirits is one of the more complicated cards. People have been like playing this for a bit now. But when you're playing more dragons, it comes up like significantly more. Being able to like dump a copy of Albion if you don't need that draw. And then getting a search from the extra deck is really nice as well. Being able to also like add Cartesia. Like if you have this and Albion, sometimes if your rest of your hand is really good as well, you would activate this, send the Albion from your hand, send like a copy of Albion from the extra deck, search for Cartesia, and Albion's like branded, or Albion is Albaz in Graveyard. So you can summon out the copy of Cartesia, and then you can just activate the Albion to send the other card that you need, and you have like Cartesia already in rotation, which is really nice. There's like those really cool lines with the brand and High Spirits, which brings up the deck quite highly, no pun intended. Crazy card in the gorgeous rarity as well. E-Telly for the deck, for your copy of Albaz and your copy of Cartesia. And then branded in red, this card, we've seen more people play it at 2. I definitely agree with that statement. I've been playing it at 2, even in 40, which I'm enjoying it a lot, being able to add back those cards. And a lot of people still aren't expecting 2 of them, so you'll open it in your hand, and like this helps you play through D-Barrier as well, being able to chain it. Like with this and Cartesia, essentially trying to play D-Barrier or play through D-Barrier can be quite a hassle, so this helps you out a lot. And then branded Lost is branded Lost. People still don't, to this day, don't understand how branded Lost works, and it helps you significantly win games. It sounds like such a degenerate card, too. Now for the, I guess, the assistant pieces. We're playing the triple Forbidden Droplets. This card's absolutely incredible in branded, alongside the double copies of Thrust and double copies of Talents. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Cobble the Grave alongside the Foolish Burial. I'll put that over here to protect from the glare. So the reason why I'm playing these ratios, obviously Cobble the Grave is Cobble the Grave. There's no reason to not play it. It's just insane in the deck. Talent and Thrust both at 2 is because I don't want to ever see doubles of it. Now, yes, it can be beneficial with the Forbidden Droplets, and of course Thrust being able to set another card that we play called Fusion Deployment. But unfortunately, it just doesn't do too much for you, especially if you're playing going second and your opponent doesn't hand trap you. And like the deck does struggle against Baguska. Shout out to Todd, I fucking hate that card. But like Baguska just shits on this deck absolutely. And now like Melodious is also making it. You have to find ways to like kind of beat that. And unfortunately, Thrust doesn't really do that for you if you don't get into your cards. So we're not playing triple Thrust because if you can't play the game, it doesn't help you play the game even more. And like you play a lot of other cards that lets you play the game as well. So having like Thrust and having Talents is just honestly just a better card overall. Being able to rip their hand if they hit you with a low impact hand trap, or protecting you from another hand trap. You know, if you end up getting Ash in your Branded Fusion, you have Talents, rip their hand, you see an Imperm, you rip that, and then all of a sudden you can activate the rest of your cards freely. It can help you out significantly a lot. Foolish Burial kind of seems weird in this. It is 42 for that reason. I kind of want to bump up the ratios a little bit because we are playing some of those cards you don't want to see as often. And Foolish Burial kind of gets you a bridge to it, like being able to send the Sorenir, being able to send even an Albaz or a copy of Aluber if you need to in those weird states where you want to activate Branded in red. But other times you can just send like a copy of Tragedy, you can send a copy of Mercury if you want to banish it off of the Bistles that you play. And like you're like, well, why aren't you playing Gold Shark? So Gold Shark is really weird. It does help you out in the Sun matchups or those long grind games, which you do end up getting into. But unfortunately, it doesn't get you enough with like the copies of Sorenir and then of course the copy of Albion being able to dump. Like sometimes you want to be able to dump those cards, and like the Foolish deals to trigger all 4 of them compared to just this where I can trigger only 2 of them. Helps you significantly, so I just chose to play that over it. And then Forbidden Droplets is honestly just insane. This card's like branded Droplets at this point. You know, just busted. Now for the last 2 cards, but definitely not the last 2 cards of the deck. Retribution alongside the Fusion Duplication. So what's really cool about this is that this is no longer just a card you send to the graveyard. There is a lot of scenarios where you want to be able to set this and you activate it more than you ever have before. being able to get like a Snake Eyes Ash or a Snake Eyes Oak trying to summon from Flambridge from the deck just feels like disgusting. So being able to like set that, they can't respond to it because it is a counter trap, just feels absolutely incredible. Like it just has a crazy effect. Like this fact that it can add back from the graveyard plus being a counter trap on the field is just disgusting. Definitely pay attention to this. And this is just so you can fusion duplication when you get Ash and you have Thrust in the hand. Being able to just use it during your opponent's turn just feels absolutely free. Now for the extra deck, we are playing the double Mirror Jade. Anyone who tells you to play one Mirror Jade is wrong. The Cashier is very much in the format. Ripping your Mirror Jades is like kind of the worst thing they can do. So playing two of that just definitely verifies that they won't be doing that. Try to hit something else in your deck like Guardian Chimera instead. Double Albion. This card's crazy. I wish I could play three of it, but unfortunately the extra deck is very tight. If you use your management resource properly, you can just use two of them. We are playing the one Lubellion alongside the one Sanctifier. You got to play this card. This card's absolutely insane. Gimmick Puppet wins you games just outright on itself, so that's why we're playing it. And even without Gimmick Puppet, this card's actually in design is just inherently insane. Being able to summon stuff from the graveyard as interruption, like even if they activate like a couplet, being able to summon out one of their monsters so that they can't get that effect. If they have like the Sonata in the graveyard, they're forced to have another one in the hand for the Melodious. Like a lot doesn't help a lot of the times against like Kashtira. They can activate like a burst and you can summon it out. Like other times like that, it's like, okay, well I have now a Unicorn or a Fenrir, big whoop, which can put pressure, but it's not always the greatest. But it just comes up a lot as well, which people just don't realize. They're like, oh, it's just a Gimmick Puppet. It's not. It's a very powerful card. Then we have the newly QCR'd Rinbrum. Summons out Albaz. There's really weird scenarios where they try to Bestial your card. You chain Branded and Red, they chain another Bestial. You have this in the graveyard, you can summon out the Albaz. You don't get the fusion, but you don't let them have the Bestials. And they wasted 2 cards for that, so that's very important. Really cool interactions. Now we are playing the Albalentis. This card is strictly for Tempai, which seems crazy. But Tempai, I guess also Flamebridge is on the field as well. If you have loss on the field, if you can actually use this with an Albaz, go into the Albalentis. They can't trigger Flamebridge in the graveyard because you have loss on the field. So really cool interactions you can do with that. And then this being able to summon out, like if you have this and this in the graveyard, being able to summon out in battle phase, summon out the copy of Albaz, activate the effect of this card, and then wipe their whole field for a copy of Albalentis is absolutely insane. And like, of course, you have the search for a fusion effect in a graveyard, which does come up sometimes. You can search for fusion deployment as well, which is really cool, but it doesn't come up as often. You could arguably play the copy of Boral Furious as well. We're playing that in the other build, like our low rarity one. But I really do enjoy the Albalentis because there is quite a few Tempai at our locals. Important to note about the Boral Furious, it has to require 2 Dark Dragons. So you can't make it with Lubellion unless you put back like 2 of these. Something like that. I was doing that before by just using the Lubellion, so definitely make sure you don't do that. That's it for the... I guess there's also Titanic Light as well. I forgot to mention him. This card's really crazy. Being able to summon out Quem from the graveyard or from the deck during end phase is insane as well. You don't always summon out Albaz. Normally you summon out the Quem, but this is important to note. Now for the other ones, we are playing the one Masquerade. I kind of shuffle through, I guess I'll pull them out. I shuffle through playing Masquerade in the main deck. I also shuffle through playing the Boral Furious and then the Magnum the Reliever. So like these 2 are the cards that I kind of want to fit into the deck as well, but I feel like at a local scene, Masquerade just comes up a lot, especially like if they don't know you're playing it. Going into game 3, being able to put this on the field helps to it significantly. What's really cool about Magnum the Reliever, which is like people don't realize, if you're not playing Patchwork, it doesn't come up as often, but Magnum the Reliever actually lets you able to play if you have only 1 card on the field. If for like the branded in red, a lot of times your opponent's like, okay, well you have 1 card in hand. If they're gonna wait to like pop one of your cards under branded in red, but you can go for a Magnum the Reliever and then have a pop as well, which is just people don't expect, especially in the 40 card build where you're not playing those copies of polymerization. Then we are playing the double Kraganol, very normal, standard. This card's absolutely insane. Beautiful art, probably one of my favorite arts in the game. But the effect is just insane. Also, you can do the Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. I found that out recently that you can actually be able to chain both of them to a Bestial, which comes up, or a Tempai Dragon. Very important to note, if you go like activate effect of Tempai to summon like a Chandra, you chain your Cartesia, summon this out. You would actually dump and then banish as well. So you can summon out from the deck the next card here. being the Quertus or the copy of Cartes, or I guess of the Quem, which is important because then you can dump the Albaz. If you already have a copy of the Rim Room and the Graveyard, then you can be able to get rid of their monsters extremely quickly. Quertus, turning everything to 0 helps the deck significantly as well. A lot of like the non-fusion decks do struggle to beat this, and obviously when it's destroyed or banished, you can summon another copy of Albaz. Then we are playing the 1 Guardian Chimera alongside the Draco Stapelia. So like, this is also cuttable for the Boreal Furious, but we really do like the negates. This deck does struggle against a lot of like hard bodies to feel on the field. So being able to summon this out, have a negate on your field comes up a lot as well. And then Guardian Chimera, this card's absolutely insane. Being able to just pop those cards is a very much a branded staple. I haven't had the QC in, so this is going to be the Platinum Rare, but let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the Platinum Rares compared to the QC. I think they look very, very normal, and they do complement each other quite well. But regardless, hope you enjoyed watching the video. This is a little bit of a long one, giving more explanation on those branded cards. But if you want to see the video, or if you want to see some branded in action, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to make you guys a combo video or doing some more duels with it. Regardless, hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Stay safe. Peace.